guys, welcome back to my channel. So with everybody getting into the idea of developing a fall capsule or even just like a fall essentials wardrobe, I wanted to share with you guys 5 super easy steps that you can take to make sure whatever wardrobe you're building looks really elevated in a way that does not include breaking the bank. And they're all things that I learned during my education as a senior stylist for Stitch Fix, which I did for about 5 years. But these are like the little details I noticed give a garment a more elevated look to them. And again, when it comes to quality and price, remember that price tag in no way, shape, or form is an indication of high quality, nor is the presence of any type of logo. So the first tip has to do with details. You know, like all those little details that go into a garment, things that you can really pay attention to make sure it has an elevated vibe. First and foremost, let's talk about cuffs on sleeves. I'm a huge proponent of a proper cuff on a sleeve. Guys, it's like such an easy way to make sure that your top looks more elevated, looks more pulled together versus something that has like an elasticized cuff that, you know, it's like that annoying band that never sits right, it always misbehaves, it fights with the fabric, it tends to bunch up and just look unkempt, versus a proper cuff that's just, it's classic, it's simple, it works. The second detail you always want to pay attention to has to do with denim. Now I know like ripped denim, frayed denim is a huge trend right now, but honestly, nothing can compete with a classic clean hem. There's no fraying here, there's no scissor cut, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And when it comes to rinses, it's really interesting when you start paying attention to the whiskering. Now this is a pair from American Eagle that I absolutely love. I adore their jeans, but you can see it does have significant whiskering right across the hip area. To be honest with you, the lack of whiskering also lends itself to a pair of jeans looking more expensive. And I've noticed that Everlane tends to like lead the pack when it comes to creating denim that does not have any whiskering whatsoever. It's just a beautiful uniform rinse. And then the third tip is kind of like really seemingly inconsequential, but it makes a huge difference. And that is to always opt for a garment that has a metal zipper versus a plastic zipper. And if you are looking for the gold standard for metal zippers, definitely look for the YKK brand. So the second step you can take to ensure that your wardrobe overall has a more elevated vibe is to pay attention to the fibers that your garment is made from. If you are familiar with my channel, you know I am obsessed with natural fibers. And as we started pushing into the fall season, what I noticed was 99% of the sweaters I had previously bought were all made with synthetic fibers like polyesters and acrylics. And I am much more in favor of things like merino wool, of course, cashmere, and 100% cotton. So again, it's just a matter of paying attention to those labels. Now those can be a little hard to find just because there is a lot of synthetics used in sweaters today, but they are out there. You can definitely score them. I just scored 2 100% cotton sweaters on Posh Mark. This one is from Everlane. It is so amazingly soft. I love it. And then the second one I scored on Posh Mark is this more textured one from Madewell. Now here's something to keep in mind when it comes to something like a 100% cotton sweater. They are not all the same. Typically when you get a tighter yarn, a tighter weave, that's going to result in a much softer feel against the skin, like this one from Everlane, versus this one, which I adore from Madewell. It has like that chunky textured vibe, but it definitely is not as soft as the one from Everlane. A much thicker yarn. It's what I would call an open weave, and you know, obviously it's going to have a texturized feel. But remember that the more you wear cotton, the more it softens up, and so over time, this will definitely become a very cozy option. Another great natural fiber you can include in your wardrobe in the cooler months is linen, and I think most of us like kind of categorize linen as being for summer only, and it's actually a really great fabric to enjoy in the cooler weather because linen just inherently regulates body temperature, which means it's going to keep you insulated and also help you retain body heat while also being breathable. Another fun fact about linen is it has antimicrobial properties, which means it's going to help control body odors, and it also just inherently cleans itself. So it's a really fascinating fiber. You know, and another thing you could do too is grab a pair of linen pants. You could just layer them over, let's say, a cotton tight or some cotton hosiery, add a great pair of booties, and then you are good to go. So when it comes to shoes, you always want to have a nude shoe in your shoe wardrobe. And it doesn't matter if that's a flat, it can be a heel, it can be a bootie. What a nude shoe does is it blends seamlessly into the skin and creates this seamless line from torso to toe, which gives the illusion of a longer leg. It is such a gorgeous effect. Plus, the nude shoe doesn't scream for attention with your outfit. It's not trying to compete with it. It's just like this beautiful fashion and function fusion going on. As I mentioned before, I am only 5'4½", so it's like my life's mission to figure out how to make my legs look longer, and honestly, like, nude shoes are how I do it. The second component to this is investing in good quality shoes. Now, admittedly, this is an area that I'm just kind of like dipping my toe in over the past couple weeks. I've really made it my mission to look for handcrafted products, full grain leather, nubuck leather, soles that are rubber or leather that can be resold, and that way I can have them seemingly for the rest of my life as long as I take proper care of them. Plus, they just look really, really good, and they are so beautifully well made. Honestly, they're like works of art. Because the reality is, you know, if I'm looking at a pair of booties at, like, say, a retail store that has a $100 price tag on them, but doesn't have a rubber or leather sole, has been glued on instead of stitched, I can't resole those. So once they're done, they're done. So just like focus on what is the shoe that you tend to wear the most in each season. So let's say for the fall, if you really love your black bootie, why not go to a store like Red Wing, Adelante Shoes, or even Nisolo to see if you can get a handcrafted pair that might be a little bit more expensive in the short term, but in the long run, because you're going to be able to enjoy it for years to come, it's really going to pay off in dividends. All right, so the fourth thing has to do with solids versus prints. Now, the school of thought is that solids always by default have a more affluent look. They look more expensive, but if you're someone like me who, I like a little bit of print in my wardrobe, it's always good to stick with those classics. Beautiful florals, leopard print, stripes, even like a well-timed polka dot is a great addition to your wardrobe. For example, this floral kimono here is one of my favorite printed pieces. This is 100% cotton, but what I love most about it is this gorgeous, almost like watercolor-esque floral print. So beautiful. It's so soft and feminine. I love the color story that they chose too. Just overall lends itself to looking like a really beautiful elevated garment. All right, finally, the fifth step you can take to ensure your wardrobe, no matter what season it is, always looks amazing, is the presentation. Guys, I'm talking about every single one of us should have a lint roller, especially if you have pets at home. Make sure you give all of your garments a good roll before you head out the door. I definitely recommend your first line of defense against wrinkles being an iron. There's nothing that gets clothing more crisp and gorgeous looking than an iron. But if you're not an ironing kind of gal, at the very least, invest in a high quality steamer. I love this one I purchased from Target. It was like $30. It's a workhorse, and it is going to do a really good job of getting wrinkles out of most of your clothing. But do understand that when you start investing in natural fibers, especially linens and cottons, there's nothing that will get them as unwrinkled as a good iron. The key to making sure your clothes look amazing for years to come is to pay attention to what types of detergents you're using. Like, I personally love eco-friendly detergents that are going to be gentle on the skin. I love products that are biodegradable and, of course, that are cruelty-free. True Earth recently reached out to me and asked if I would like to receive some of their laundering products, which as soon as I saw them, I was fascinated. I was like, how is this little sheet going to clean my clothes in lieu of traditional detergent? So it's been really, really fun to use. Now, also for me, I live in an area that doesn't recycle. So the fact that I'm not throwing like a massive plastic jug into the trash literally makes my heart so happy. And these products from True Earth just have the most beautiful scent to them. Oh my gosh, it's not overwhelming, it's very gentle, and I've been really happy with how they've been cleaning my clothes. Okay guys, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, remember that a price tag is no indication of quality whatsoever. You can very easily find really beautiful garments for amazing prices, whether you're buying them at retail or you're buying them secondhand on sites like Posh Mark, eBay, Tradesy, or even The Real. But in any event, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!